the 6 human needs, today on the Daily Is Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
All right, welcome everybody to the Daily Is Show. My name is Mark Dolfini, your coach, and today on the Daily Is Show, well, first of all, what's this show about? The show, if this is the first time you've seen it, is a show not just for rental housing providers, but anybody looking to get a little bit more time, wealth, a little bit more control over your calendar, a little bit more white space on your calendar. That is what the show is about. My name is Mark Dolfini, your host and your coach for today. So we're going to be talking about the 6 human needs. Now, if you are a fan of Tony Robbins, you know all about the 6 human needs. But if you aren't, I'm just going to give you a brief primer on this. I'm not going to do this justice nearly as well as he can teach it, but this is something that I learned from my coach. And this is the reason you need to have a coach. This is the reason it doesn't necessarily need to be me, but you need to have a coach to help check your blind spots and make you aware of things that are that are out there, that are being taught, that are really, really powerful and very impactful. So the 6 human needs. Now, first of all, they're not to be confused with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That is really more about, these are more 6 human psychological needs. So that's really what these are about. And everybody has every single one of these needs. It just depends at what level that each person needs each one of these. So let's quickly go through what the 6 human needs are that Tony Robbins had described. So the 6 human needs are significance, certainty, variety, love and connection, growth, and contribution. I'll hit those again. It's first we're going to go through these in somewhat order. There's not really an order of them. It's not like there's a hierarchy of these things, but significance, certainty, variety, love and connection, growth, and contribution. So those are the 6. So what is significance? Significance is really nothing more how something makes you feel important. If you are doing an activity or doing something, it's the need to feel important for something. So if you are, let's say for argument's sake that you have a job where you are the boss, you get lots of significance from that. You get lots of significance saying, I'm the boss, right? This is my business, or I'm an author, or I'm the teacher, I'm the professor, or whatever it is, whatever that activity makes you feel significant, makes you feel important. So that's significance. Certainty, we all have a need for certainty. Like I'm sitting on a chair right now, and I sat on this chair because I was reasonably certain that I wouldn't sit on it and I would crush it, right? It holds my weight, so I feel certain. We all have a need for certainty. So while we all have a need for some significance, we also have a need for certainty, whether that may be a certain amount of money in the bank, that might be walking across the floor and making sure you're not going to fall through, right? We all have a need for certain amounts of certainty. The next one, so we talked about significance, certainty. The next one is variety. Now, as much as I might love tuna fish sandwiches, I cannot eat tuna fish sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for the rest of my life. We've got to have some variety in our world, right? So there is some need for variety. So that is the third one. The fourth one is love and connection, or basically some feelings of love, some feelings of connection to other people, because we are social creatures. We aren't, we all just like to live in little boxes, although some people are more social than others. We all have a need for love and connection. Now, those are the 4 basic needs. Those are the lower level needs, or just the basic needs. Again, that's significance, certainty, variety, love, and connection. Those are the 4 basics. The next 2 are what Tony Robbins refers to as needs of the spirit. And I really appreciate these because they are growth. We all have a need to grow as an individual, grow in our knowledge, grow sometimes, grow in our bodies, right? Grow in our muscles, or grow in our spirituality. But we all have a need for growth. We also have a need for contribution, where we are in contribution to others, where we give to others, we give back to others. So those 2 needs are considered higher needs, or needs of the spirit. So again, those 6 human needs, these are things that when I was first introduced to them, I was thinking, man, there's just 6 human needs. Seems like there'd be a lot more based on these categories. But I'll tell you, I've done quite a bit of study of these needs, and they really do incorporate pretty much everything that's out there that now, again, Tony Robbins said that he came up with them. I don't really know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't really care, because they're really, really profound in terms of how I interact with the world. And I was thinking about this. Well, I really didn't feel like I had a high need for significance, or really any need for significance, because I was confusing significance with like materialism, right? Like I feel like I needed to buy things to feel important. Well, that's really not what that is at all. It's if you have an activity that you do because it makes you feel important, then you have a need for significance because of that activity. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you have an activity in your life where 3 or more of those things, where it checks the boxes of 3 or more of those things, again, significance, certainty, variety, love and connection, growth and contribution, if you have an activity that checks 3 or more of those boxes, that would be considered an addiction. And I thought, man, that's really profound, because there are lots of, like my job right now as, landlord coach, running the Inner Circle coaching and mastermind program, I get lots of boxes checked being a coach, right? Running a mastermind, for example, if someone comes to me because I have the answer to something, I get significance for that. I feel important. Like, wow, I have the answer and they need the answer, so they come to me. Yeah, I'm going to feel important for that, right? Or important by that. Significant, for significance, then certainty. Do I do the coaching because I get certainty out of the coaching of the mastermind program? Yeah, I know what the results are going to be for people. Generally, I get fairly certain. I'm certain that I know what I know, and I know what the answers are almost always. And I hate to sound, arrogant about that, but I generally do, right? That's something that I just know that I'm good at. There's plenty I know I'm not good at. So I can honestly say, yeah, I need to own this because I feel fairly certain about it. So checks significance, checks certainty. Next is variety. Is everything different? Is every coaching session different? Absolutely. Every mastermind is different. Every coaching session is different. Every individual that comes to me is different. They all have a unique set of problems that I can help solve. So it checks the variety box for me, right? So that's 3 right there. Significance, certainty, variety. Now, love and connection, absolutely. I'm dealing with human beings, and I get a lot of people who come to me with different problems that they're looking to get solved, and hoping that I can help solve them. So that checks the love and community, or love and connection box for me. Growth and contribution, that's just naturally who I am anyway. And it's interesting because I grow more so I can be in contribution to others. Now, the interesting thing here, and we're going to wrap this up, but the interesting thing is which one of these is your number 1 and number 2, right? The order in terms of these needs matters. Because I can tell you when I've been my most miserable in my life is when significance and certainty are either 1 or 2, right? Because I can never get enough significance. I can never feel important enough. Like if my neighbor buys a Maserati, I have to buy 2 Maseratis just to keep up with them, right? Because I'll never feel important enough. Or enough certainty. Like if I need, if I want $500,000 in the bank, well, I better get $600,000 because I need to feel even more certain. So I recognize in myself, and this is something that my coaches taught me, that, what you have to be careful about which of these are your number 1 and number 2, because significance and certainty, when they were my number 1 and 2, I was almost always the most miserable. When I've been the happiest in my world, like right where I am right now, is when growth and contribution have been my number 1 and 2. And those are the things that are driving force behind everything that I do, no matter what the activity is. When I'm growing, whether I'm growing as a coach, whether I'm growing in my business, whether I'm growing in my spirituality, whether I'm growing as an individual in some way, or when I get to contribute back to all of those things that I've grown from, and I get to be in contribution to others. And that is when I've truly, truly been the happiest in my life. So just meant to be a quick primer on the 6 human needs. I would highly recommend, look at some of Tony Robbins' stuff. His stuff is really, really good in terms of the 6 human needs. But it was one of those things where I felt like it was just good to maybe hit this on a brief primer for today. So that's all I have for today, folks. Please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. That's all I have for today. Take good care. See you guys next time.